What are you ready to release? That is the question in this reading. I got so many messages lately about releasing maybe the past, releasing emotions, whatever this release is for you. Let's look at what the message is from Spirit. What does we collectively need to release these days? So, as you can see, I've pulled out 3 different oracle cards. There are messages on the back. As I said in the intro, I've received so many messages about releasing. Of course, we had a very powerful full moon in Capricorn the week that passed. Maybe it's the energy of this full moon that is hanging over us, but I feel it's something more important collectively that we need to release now. So let's see. Interesting. Maybe that I feel that this is the collective obsession of romanticizing your situation. That is one thing, romanticizing your situation, and how you see and how you want a romantic relationship with a significant other. Because I did a reading for myself earlier today before I did this video, and there was something, a message about giving and receiving, you know, and in a romantic relationship, how has your romantic relationship been? Are you the one who has poured a lot of emotion and effort and time in making this relationship work? Or is it you that has just been leaning back and just receiving the energy from the other part? You know, it has to be, it always have two parts in a relationship. So yeah, either romanticizing your own situation and focusing on how has your romantic relationship been. That is one thing that you need to release. Maybe there is something about you think that romance isn't for you. Maybe you think that you don't deserve romance. And maybe there is something about, that is at least my belief, that the romance that you see in you know, Hallmark and Mar Vista movies, that type of romantic relationship doesn't exist, you know. So if you have experienced a romantic relationship like that, well, you are very fortunate. But yeah, okay, let's move on. Forgiveness. Yes, to release, you have to forgive. As simple as that. Who do you need to forgive? People that have done you wrong in some way or shape or form. maybe this is linked to the romance. The disappointment in a relationship, the disappointment that the other part couldn't give you the love that you deserve. But you know that that is their shadow. And you have to forgive them for their shadow, right? And if they are not aware of their shadow or are ready to work on their shadow, you have to forgive them for that. You don't have to accept the way that they behave, but you have to forgive them. This is not excusing them. If, for example, in a relationship you have lived in a very violent relationship, it doesn't mean that you are excusing them for their behavior. No, you're forgiving them because they didn't have the capability to work through their shadow. Yeah. But either way, whatever this forgiveness is, it's time to release. The forgiveness is crucial. Last one. Meditation brings answer. Yes. Put in some clarity. Meditation always brings up emotions. So what kind of emotions, when you are sitting still like this person, when you are in quietude, you're sitting still, alone, by yourself, what kind of emotions are coming up within yourself? And when you have that answer, that is what you need to release. Okay, let's see what the tarot has to say about this release. I guessed that this card would turn up. The projections of other people's emotions, either romantically, among friends, among colleagues, you name it. What kind of projections, emotional projections, have you yourself put out and have you received from others? Look at the background. It's looks very toxic between these two people. So the toxicity, that is what you need to release, the toxicity in your life. You know, the toxicity can be stored in your body, and when it has been stored for quite some time, you develop physical pain and physical symptoms of this toxic energy. Maybe you get a lot of headaches, maybe you get a nausea, maybe you get dizziness, maybe you get fatigue, and even worse, this can develop into much more serious illnesses over time. So be aware of that. Okay, what more can you tell us about this release, my dear spirit? I felt one card at the back, but okay, we had one flipping over. So as I said, I don't read reversals, but if it comes in reverse, I take it into consideration. Now, we have the High Priestess with inner voice. Meditation brings answers. What type of emotions are coming up when you go into stillness, and that is what you need to release. Thought patterns. Maybe you think that you're not good enough. Maybe you think that you are stuck. Maybe you think that you won't be able to move on from a difficult situation. That is what you need to release. Yes. I said it in the intro. The past. The past is the past. It's undoable. It's already written, maybe not in paper, but yeah. The past is already experienced. There's nothing you can do about this. Whatever regrets you have of the past, it's time to release this. But it doesn't mean that you can't do whatever you didn't do in the past. You know, if this is undoable, for example, as I said before, I had an example of when I was a teenager, and I took an extra year in high school because I needed what is it called? I needed my SAT. Maybe it's called that. Yes, to get into university. And I did it in with adults. It was a high school for adults. People that didn't finish their high school in their teenage years because of different circumstances. And in my English class, there was a woman, and she was, I think she was 62 or something. 60, between 60 and 62, it doesn't matter. She was retired, and yeah, she could have used her time to anything else, you know, traveling, just enjoying life, but she was determined to get her diploma. And I don't recall. I think English was her third or fourth major. Yeah, but yeah, she wanted to have her diploma because she didn't finish high school when she was at a young stage. I think she met her husband at a very young age and got married, and after that, you know, the ball kept running. So that is what I mean. What you can do something about. For example, it's not too late to get an education if that is something that you regret. It's not too late to give someone an apology, of course, if that person is still alive, right? Or you can you can give this apology to this person's family, right? So look at the things that you can do something about, but either way, just let it go. And the last one was the 7 of Pentacles. We saw that flipping out. Actually, it was in the reverse. So there is something about releasing the impatientness, the need to be in a hurry all the time. Why do you have to need to be in a hurry? You have all the time in the world. That is what Louis Armstrong was singing once upon a time. You get all the time in the world. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the last one. Yeah, and this is the last thing you need to release: the anxiety for the future, the grief for the past, the grief for the past, the grief for the lost romantic relationship, the grief for the relationship that turned sour, the release for the people that turned your life sour, turned your life miserable, the teacher that gave you a bad degree, you name it. Release the anxiety. Yeah. Release the impatience. Beautiful, beautiful message from Spirit, from the universe. Thank you so much for watching this long video, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye for now.